Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital tragedy. Sam McCall dead, was she murdered? General Hospital fan favorite Sam McCall just took a turn for the worst after her surgery and unexpectedly died. No doubt, the episodes going forward will be full of tears, anguish, and heartache as her friends and family say goodbye on the ABC Sudzer. Recently, on General Hospital, it looked like everything went well with Sam McCall's surgery. She was recovering after donating a piece of her liver to Lulu Spencer, so she will hopefully live. Things were going extremely well, and she seemed to be heading in the right direction. Her boyfriend, Dante Falconeri, even presented her with a gorgeous ring and asked her to marry him. Later, she was visiting with her mom, Alexis Davis. She shared the happy news with her, and they were overjoyed. And that's when things went terribly wrong on General Hospital. As Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, shared a beautiful moment with her mother, Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, she suddenly took a horrible turn. Alexis said her face went white and she couldn't breathe. She looked confused and scared before she went unconscious. Indeed, it was terrifying for Alexis. The doctors rushed in and tried to resuscitate her. Undoubtedly, it was extremely difficult for Dr. Lucas Jones, Van Hanses, who is Sam's brother. Also, General Hospital's head nurse Elizabeth Weber, Rebecca Herbst, is friends with Sam, and their history goes back decades. They did everything they could to save Sam, but sadly, it was too late. Surely, it was devastating for Elizabeth to lose Sam like that, especially because she was part of the team trying to save her. And Lucas was so desperate to help her that he spent 30 minutes trying to revive her. So Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, had to gently urge him to call the time of death, which was 5:48. No doubt it will be heart-wrenching for the foreseeable future as word spreads of Sam's death. Her family and friends will be devastated. And it starts this week on General Hospital with Alexis and Jason Morgan, Steve Furton. Everyone is going to be heartbroken and feel blindsided. Then her fiancé, Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, will be beside himself. And of course, her poor children will be crushed. No doubt they thought Sam was fine. But as everyone grieves, people could start to wonder what caused her sudden death. Portia mentioned it could be an embolism. However, a recent General Hospital leak suggests otherwise. A reliable source says Sam was murdered by Cyrus Renault, Jeff Kober. They went on to say that he put digitalis into her IV bag to kill her. Most likely, there will be an autopsy to determine the cause of death. And if there is digitalis in her system, the doctors are going to want to know how it got there. Then, if they see that someone deliberately put it into Sam's IV bag, they may realize it was a murder, and an investigation may be opened. So there could be a whodunit coming up. Not many people, if any, would want Sam dead. So if Cyrus Renault was at the hospital around the time she died, all fingers may quickly point to him. GH will never be the same without Sam McCall. Keep watching to see her loved ones and all of Port Charles try to move forward without her on the ABC daytime drama. Port Charles was no stranger to tragedy, but that morning brought a stillness that even the most hardened residents of the town felt deep in their bones. The air was thick with the aftermath of a night shrouded in mystery, where the eerie quiet of the dawn hinted at news that would send shockwaves through the community. As the sun timidly crept over the horizon, the scene at Pier 55 was stark and haunting. Sam McCall's lifeless body lay sprawled on the damp wood, her dark hair mingling with the splintered edges of the pier, soaking up the cold whispers of the harbor water that lapped beneath. The police tape fluttered, snapping like impatient fingers in the breeze, while officers murmured in subdued tones, their expressions ranging from grim determination to disbelief. Detective Dante Falconeri was the first to arrive, his face drawn with the tension of a man too accustomed to loss, but still unprepared for this. Sam wasn't just another case. She was a friend, a fighter, a mother. The first hint of dawn reflected in his weary eyes as he knelt beside her, taking in the clues that could piece together the puzzle of her final moments. The bruises on her wrists, the faint trace of crimson at her temple, the telltale signs of a struggle. It all pointed to more than an accident. This was something far more sinister. News traveled fast in Port Charles. Within the hour, Jason Morgan, Sam's once love and the father of her son, stormed into the scene, his face carved in stone. Even as the officers held him back, he saw her, still and silent, with a peacefulness that belied the fierce spirit she carried within her. His vision blurred, not just with rage, but with the sheer weight of grief. The question was clear in his gaze as he turned to Dante. Who did this? The question, however, had no immediate answer. Rumors whispered through town, sliding between the cracks of pent-up secrets and unresolved feuds. Some pointed fingers at Cyrus Renault, the shadowy drug lord whose return to Port Charles had sparked tension and threats. Others murmured about a private investigator Sam had recently clashed with during a high-stakes case involving a stolen inheritance. Theories wove into knots, tying the hearts of those who knew her into shared grief and dread. Alexis Davis, Sam's mother, arrived shortly after, her face pale and eyes hollowed with disbelief. She stood by Dante, barely breathing, as if exhaling would shatter her. Alexis had seen tragedy before. She had lost loved ones, fought battles that tested her strength. But this was different. This was Sam, her daughter, her stubborn, fearless daughter who had always walked the line between danger and defiance. The thought of that fire being extinguished ripped a wound in Alexis that might never heal. Nearby, Carly Spencer leaned against her car, an arm wrapped protectively around Jocelyn, who couldn't stop staring at the scene. Carly's mind raced, calculating who could be behind such an act, while also consumed by the guilt of knowing Sam had once been her rival, and now a friend. Their relationship had been complicated, forged through alliances and battles, but Carly had come to respect Sam's fierce loyalty and determination. The deeper investigation unearthed details that sent more shivers through Port Charles. Spinelli, the tech-savvy hacker and Sam's close friend, locked himself away, running programs and digging into the electronic ghost trails that could reveal what happened in the hours leading to Sam's death. He found encrypted messages on her phone, exchanged with someone named Ghost. This unknown contact seemed to hint at blackmail, threats exchanged under the guise of cooperation. Who was Ghost, and why had Sam been so secretive about their communication? As the day wore on, grief turned to anger for those closest to her. Jason's fury boiled over, propelling him into a relentless search for justice. He met with Sonny Corinthos, who even in his semi-retired state, still held influence over the underworld. Together, they began to peel back layers of Port Charles' shadiest dealings, seeking anyone who might have reason to harm Sam. By nightfall, Dan received an anonymous tip. The voice on the other end was hoarse, a whisper layered with urgency. She wasn't supposed to die, it rasped. You need to look at her case files. The line went dead before Dante could trace it, but the caller's words echoed in his mind. What case files? Which one of Sam's numerous cases had led her to the pier that night? Alexis, meanwhile, found herself combing through Sam's office, fighting tears as she sifted through piles of notes and binders. Papers rustled, carrying the echoes of Sam's voice, her determination, her wit. Alexis' hand stopped on a document labeled Operation Shadow. The details outlined Sam's efforts to expose a smuggling ring that stretched beyond Port Charles, with names that sent a chill down her spine. Among them was a newly appointed city council member with deep pockets and dangerous friends. Outside the pier, the gathering of onlookers grew as night fell, candlelight flickering in the breeze. People who had known Sam, loved her, or even sparred with her, stood in solidarity, a testament to the complicated, intertwined lives of Port Charles. The grief-stricken scene was temporarily shattered by a commotion as a car screeched to a halt. Out stepped a figure most hadn't seen in years. Robert Scorpio, international spy and former WSB agent. He exchanged glances with Dante, a shared understanding forming without words. Robert's sudden reappearance could only mean one thing. Sam's death was more than a personal vendetta or random act. It was the start of something bigger, something dark that could pull the entire town into a whirlpool of secrets and lies. As the flames of the candles reflected in the water, their light catching on the black sheen of the harbor, it felt as though Port Charles itself held its breath. Sam McCall was gone, but the storm her death had set in motion was just beginning.